Hello there everybody and welcome back to Costume Quest 2. We were doing some trick-or-treating last video, trying to get some candy available so that we can eventually take the boat out of here, but we still have some houses to go. I do believe we've done about 8 of the 18 that we need to do. I just took a little break here and rested by the fountain. So the first thing we're going to do is actually interact with this child here, hiding in the bushes. And this will start another quest, which will allow us to play hide and go seek. This is very, very similar to the quests that we had in the first costume quest, where we had to find children in every single area, and we will be able to upgrade our trick-or-treating pail by doing that. Now we're in the playground area here, and we have a few things to do. The first thing is to talk to this kid over by the trailer, named Baron, who is the future richest person in the world. Is that right? Yep. One day, I'm gonna dredge up this dumpy swamp and cover it with tract houses. I need to get semi-rich first, though. It takes money to make money, you know? Good luck with that. You look like a savvy investor to me. If you want to make some candy, come talk to me later. I knew you'd be back. My dredging plan is a clear moneymaker. How much candy do you want to invest? You can't buy land with candy. I have a system to convert candy to money. Just leave the business side to me. If you give me, say, 200 candy now, I will pay you back with crazy interest when my project is done. What do you say? Yes, we are gonna invest 200 pieces of our hard-earned candy to this kid. And despite the fact that Reynolds thinks that he has been cheated, we will be getting big rewards in the future by investing in Baron now. There's a few houses in this little park area to trick-or-treat at, so we're gonna do that as well. Oh, awesome. 2 adults in a row. That must mean that this last house is probably gonna make us fight. Yep, I was right. 3 in a row is just asking too much. So now that we're in another fight, I have one more thing I want to talk about in battle that we can go over right now, and that is the creepy treat card system. Now, in the first costume quest, they were just used as sort of a collection system. You collected the cards, but you didn't actually do anything with them, and instead what we would do is we would equip badges to make us more powerful, or to give us more defense, or to do whatever it is that we wanted them to do. But in this game, the creepy treat cards are not only collectibles, but we do actually use them in battle. So we have been collecting a few of these along the way, and we can use them in battle. Now, depending on what it is, there's going to be a crazy long cooldown period, so you can't just use them every single turn and be cheap about it. You sort of have to strategize a little bit and figure out what it is that you want to do. So if we use the Ghost Munch card, for example, this will make that particular enemy attack himself. You can see he's glowing there, and the card is taking effect. And with that, it attacked itself rather than attack Ren there. Now, if we go to use it again, you can see that it will not be able to be used again for 2 battles. So there is a cooldown period, you do have to keep that in mind. You can use these during boss fights, which is great. And you can use multiple cards per battle. So if it's a particularly difficult battle, or you just want to kind of try them out and play with each card, then you can do that. So we don't have a great selection of cards right now, and I'm not too worried about using other ones, but I wanted to just go over that briefly. And there are a few more things with cards that I can talk about later. But I figured I'd just go over the basics. And it has certainly made this battle a little bit easier because we are going to be able to finish it in a few less turns than we would normally. And it also helped us keep our defense up, which is really nice. So that's it for this area. The last thing we want to do is talk to this kid in the pirate costume with the card icon above his head. Do you collect creepy treat cards? More specifically, do you have a ghost munch card you could trade me? There's a bubble barf card in it for you if you do. Not on me. I'll let you know if I find one though. So we actually do have that card, but normally what happens when a kid wants a card is you will need to have 2 of that card. You'll want to have a double before you actually go ahead and trade the card in. So this is the menu, which I haven't brought up yet. You can access it by pressing the Y button, and it will show the status of all of your characters, so your level, your current amount of candy, and the stats that you are getting with each of your costumes. You'll have all your quests neatly laid out for you on a very easy to read, straightforward page, which I really, really like. We have the costume menu, which will basically go over every single costume, each of its combat abilities, what you can use it for on the map, which is the exploration ability, where we got the costume. So just a few things there if you feel like looking at them. And then we also have our unknown costumes. So we actually have 3 pages worth of costumes to get in this game. And we have started this costume here. We got the feet for it in the last video. So you can keep track of all your progress on each of the costumes here. And then finally you have the creepy treats menu. And it will show you just an overview of all your cards, which ones you've collected, which ones are available to you during combat. I do believe once we get more cards, we are able to equip which ones that we want to be able to use in fights, which is great. And we have 5 pages of these. So there are quite a few cards for us to collect. There is one achievement for collecting every single creepy treat card, and then there is another achievement for actually using every single card once in combat. So if you plan on getting that achievement, which is not difficult to do, I would recommend kind of keeping track the best that you can, maybe using each page at a time, and making sure that you've kept track of which ones that you've used, because it can be difficult to remember that if you're just going by memory or you're just using the cards sort of randomly. Alright, so let's hit these houses next. And then once we hit these 3 houses, we should be done in this first little swamp area. And we can move on. Oh, just one enemy again. This is lovely. I like this. And if you didn't watch my Let's Play of the first costume quest, what I normally do is I do keep these fights in when I'm trick-or-treating and doing boss fights and stuff like that, because the trick-or-treating is a very big fundamental part of the game, of course, and we're gonna run into new enemies as we go along, and it gives me a good opportunity to talk about combat, to talk about the enemies, and just kind of go over anything that needs going over. And then when I fight enemies on the overworld, that I generally do that in my own free time. I try to kind of cut those battles out and leave that type of stuff out. Oh, and I think that's actually our duplicate Ghost Munch card that we got there for the kid. Might have to go talk to him and see. So I try not to do too many battles per video, just because I guess it can get a little bit repetitive and a little bit stale. But generally, yes, I do keep the trick-or-treating fights in, and then I cut out any other kind of off-screen grinding or any of those types of fights. I don't really have any great cards that I want to use right now at the moment. I don't think these guys can actually use magic attacks, so we'll wait for Monty's special ability here, which will help us take out a few of them. And I should probably heal in the next turn or two as well. But Candy Corn is doing a great job of blocking a lot of those attacks for us. Is this the front of the candy corn or the back? That's a great question. I'm having candy corn in the fight in the first few battles in this game is a really good opportunity to work on the timing of your blocking. As I mentioned before, I do find this game's timing system to be a little bit more difficult than the first one, and I definitely don't always quite have the hang of it myself. But I haven't missed a lot of the blocking so far. I haven't taken a ton more damage from blocking than I should have, so I'm still on my toes today, apparently. So at this house here, we're gonna want to go around the back and up to a platform that's going to take us to another pinata. Get ourselves some additional candy. And then from here, if we want to, we can drink at the fountain again. And we've now done that whole loop, and we've pretty much done all the trick-or-treating at these houses that are right on the bayou. So I'm going to continue on to the left here on this dirt path. I took care of the crony enemy off screen. There's usually a guy that's patrolling along this road here. And at the end, we're gonna run into Shady again, who is a character from the first Costume Quest game. Shady, what are you doing way out here? Shh, keep it down, kid. Don't want to attract attention. How did you get out of Rapugia? I got clients all over. I go where the action is, kid. But this is decades in the past. You think I'm gonna let some chump from the past take all my business? Huh, you don't know Shady. So listen, you want some creepy treat cards or not? I got some good ones in here. So Shady sells unique cards. Some of these you cannot just find laying around. You have to buy them from him. So purchasing all of Shady's inventory is a requirement for 100%. You can also buy a map if you want to. He usually sells one for each area, and they're pretty cheap. So we're gonna buy a map from Shady. This looks like a great card, the Caramels. So I'm gonna buy one of those. I'm also gonna buy the Bones card. I had trouble saying that for some reason. And let's buy some Suckums, why not? Take care, kid. Somewhere else. I can't be discreet with you kids hanging around. Thanks, Shady. Much appreciated. Right next to Shady, there is a trailer here that we can trick-or-treat at. Which, of course, gives us another enemy. And we have the same 3 cards. So the new cards that we bought, we didn't equip to use them in battle, so we are still stuck with these 3. So when you buy new cards, you want to make sure that you equip them from the main menu so you can actually use them. I am going to mute the Machinist's poison attack because I find that to be very annoying. And then we'll just kind of carry on from there. So you can see that that saved us from getting poisoned, which was fantastic. And I'm gonna have to switch targets every single time because the superhero is better against the crony combatant, whereas the clown is better against the machinist. I also think it's totally cheap that this enemy gets to attack us twice. Pretty straightforward and easy. We're getting the hang of the battle system here, and we're about 200 experience points away from getting a level up. This kid here, who is not very well hidden, is actually one of our hide-and-seek kids, so make sure to talk to her. And then finally, to end things off here, We're gonna talk to this kid that is standing on this stump. Did you come to duel the best? Because I'm the best. The best at what? At dueling. There is no one better in the Bayou. Or more humble, apparently. That's true, I'm also the humblest, but I'm known more for being the best. Anyway, that looks like an instrument you have there. Do you dare challenge me to a duel? This squeaky horn? It's not really a musical instrument. Oh, I thought you were a clown at first, but it turns out you're actually a chicken. Okay, game on. It's going to feel good to take your pterodactyl pattern. So all you have to do is just press B to honk your horn. I feel like this is a, like, Devil Has Gone Down to Georgia reference. Oops, I didn't mean to scroll through his dialogue, but basically he's like, oh man, that horn doesn't sound absolutely terrible or anything. You're the best clown horn player in the world. How about we call it a draw? I'll give you their pterodactyl pattern and you keep this between us. Sounds fine to me. We both know who really won anyway. We do? Who was it? Me, right? Or you? How can you even tell? What's a pterodactyl? It's an awesome flying dinosaur. Let's look around for materials so we could build it. Alright. So, fantastic. We are now level 3. And you can see here that this actually brings us to a crossroad between going back to the Bayou and going forward towards the French Quarter. So we actually have to go back to the Bayou just for a few little tiny things before we continue on, and we will be doing that in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you so very much for watching, and I hope that I will be seeing you next time.